welcome to the news. I am Saja Brito. Coming up this evening, UDP wraps up 2020 National Congress as party re-elects Dabo as party leader. Opposition MP Honorable Omar Sise ruffles feathers at President Barrow's nationwide tour. Our guest today is Pa Samba Jaw, who will be talking to us regarding the Omar Sise Honorable Ahmad Ba scuffle, if we may call it. But first, we'll begin with the news papers. The Standard newspaper is reporting that Dabo says 2021 election, a referendum on Barrow's government, and of course, opposition National Assembly member tickles nerves at Barrow rally. Barrow accuses media of being biased towards his development agenda. Let's take a look at some of these stories in detail. Addressing Congress delegates Friday, the United Democratic Party leader Usainu Dabo, who was re-elected unopposed as Secretary General, said next year's election will be a referendum on President Barrow's corrupt and failed government that has squandered a golden opportunity to pivot the country. Dabo was quoted as saying it will be a referendum on a government that is resorting to the discredit tactics of the regime. It succeeded, and test for a government that is seeking to divide the nation and use subterfuge and deception to fool just enough people to slide back and continue to amble along with their failed agenda and mediocre leadership. Dabo told about thousands of delegates who attended the UDP Congress. An opposition National Assembly member tickles nerves at Barrow rally. The opposition GDC NAM for Nyamina East, Omar Sise, has caused a stir when he addressed President Barrow's rally in his constituency, highlighting the lack of development in his area and calling on the president to take note of the many complaints of the people of Nyamina. He said he has raised these issues such as lack of safe drinking water, roads, help for farmers in the National Assembly as expected of him. Honorable Sise said he respects Barrow as the president of the Gambia and feels it is important to be present to draw his attention to the plight and aspirations of the people in his constituency. But he said he is still GDC and is proud to be a member of the party and would not go anywhere. He, however, thanked those GDC members who cross-carpeted to President Barrow's National People's Party, saying he is grateful that one day in the past they stood by him and voted for him as their National Assembly member. Silabas Samate said civil servants not supportive of government should quit. Business tycoon Silabas Samate has advised that civil servants who share a different political agenda with the president and his government should consider leaving rather than staying to mislead or sabotage the system. Speaking to the Standard newspaper yesterday, Samate said even in the Western world, people who disagree with the leaders often resign to allow others who agree with the government to serve. I have understood that such a situation does not exist in this country, and unless we are sincere to each other, people living as wolves in sheep's clothing who are too many in this system will make us fail, Samate said. Now, Barrow accuses media of actually being biased towards him and his development agenda. President Adama Barrow has accused the media of bias, especially when it comes to coverage of his development projects. Speaking at a meeting in Brikama CRR, in his ongoing Meet the People's tour, the president accused those in the mainstream media of failing to meet the standards of accurate and impartial journalism on matters relating to his government's development program. President Barrow was quoted as saying, "We know that some of these people are activists but masquerading as newspapers to disseminate their news, but I want to tell them that this government does not need any favors from them, but the least we expect that they should also inform Gambians with accurate information about the ongoing works that we are doing." Tranquil residents vow never to vacate their homes. Residents of Tranquil, who were recently ordered to evict their compounds by a court order in favor of one George, a German national, have said they will not move from their places. Suleiman Baji, one of the affected landowners, told journalists at a press conference yesterday that they bought their lands from original traditional landowners, and after diligent research on the said properties, they proceeded to erect houses with millions of dollars in some cases since 2004. That's it for the Standard newspaper. Let's take a look at what the Point is saying. The Point newspaper is reporting that UDP re-elects Dabo as party leader, endorsed his bid for 2021 presidency. Let's take a look at that story. Delegates of the United Democratic Party on Saturday have unanimously re-elected lawyer Ousainou Darboe as Secretary General and party leader while endorsing his bid for the office of President in the December 2021 elections. The 1,060 delegates, 20 from each of the 53 constituencies, have solidly reaffirmed their trust and confidence in their long-term leader Darboe for the next 2 years after re-electing him at UDP National Congress held at the Paradise Suites Hotel. During the weekend, rumors of factions within the party opposing the leader at Congress were thrown in the bin after re-electing him unopposed. Coronation of Manding King in URR is constitutional according to the Minister of Local Government and Lands, Dramé. The Minister of Local Government and Lands has described as unconstitutional the recent coronation of one Amadou Kora, a native of Tambasangsang village in the Tumana district, as Manding King, saying the move is against the Local Government Act. Musa Dramé was speaking at a recent meeting in Damfakunda as President Barrow and delegation continued their country-wide tour. That's it for the newspapers. Let's go for a break and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Tough Africa Global presents the new Tulip Gardens. Tough Tulip Gardens is set to comprise service plots in sizes ranging from 220 to 570 meters square. Deposit as low as $83,600 is only an 18-month interest-free payment plan with only 20% deposit on the service plots. Please contact 376-2333 or 776-2333. Free. Tough Africa.
Welcome back. And now the United Democratic Party wrapped up their 2020 National Congress on Sunday, re-electing Darboe as party leader and endorsing his bid for the 2021 presidential elections. More in this highlight.
The United Democratic Party, addressing delegates on Friday, re-elected Ousainou Darboe as the Secretary General and party leader.
Amadou Kora nominates His Excellency A.N.M. Ousainou Darboe. Seconded by... Okay, any other nomination? Any other nomination? His Excellency A.N.M. Ousainou Darboe, Secretary General and Party Leader of the United Democratic Party.
I want to acknowledge the presence of the most important people in this gathering, the most important attendees, the delegates. And to the delegates, I want to say thank you very much for reposing confidence in this team and I can assure you we'll do all our utmost. I am elated and humbled by your show of trust in me to continue as your party leader. Thank you for the confidence. Thank you for the support and thank you for the encouragement. I therefore gracefully accept your unanimous nomination and election and promise that I will continue to put the United Democratic Party at the heart of everything I do.
After a two-day congress, the party held a grand rally at Bofa Zone. Lawyer said his party is one of a kind because it's the only party in the history of Gambian politics to choose the first female national president, youngest mayor, and first female mayor.
Kuno United Democratic Party ay history ka Gambia.
Mune demba UDP amna history in the Gambia.
Political party also ta Gambia le kabri 1950s nyolu Muslim Congress, Jesse Fala Democratic Alliance, Uncle Piers Nyala UP, Gaba Jahumpala Muslim Congress. Well, parties also sada la PPP, Sirif Sisel nyola PPA, Yachayasin Sekala NLP, Sirif Diwala NCP, and in party kotol melan kaf ko wuluta sai isotata janne barol party ol femfen nene mamusota ka ke national president for UDP nene manka Gambia ko
Landesan ala Yusene nem dabo mune munglendi yegal ne si history Gambia from 1950 up to date party yum to dayep amon ci bir rewmi way ken mustajal tigen Mudefko, national president of a political party in this country. Si party ambilanjel, njeka mu UDP.
In 2016, United Democratic Party, ayanyo history le kajanto on the 3rd of April 2016 at the Basse Congress, Ajayam Sekata ka elect as the deputy party leader, a woman. It had never happened in this country.
Albulo, la ilaha illallah. Wala mutonyati, ala yusenu, mune, amona 2016. Ajayam Sekabay, Nutanako, Sibase Congress, Momtam Lumendi, Moheon Fufu, in Basse.
UDP Lamu pays setter in the politics in this country.
Tachulen, UDP more best setter in politics in this country.
UDP lay the youngest mayor elect in the Gambia.
UDP, no, I'm the youngest mayor elect in the history of this country. Mustam Sireumi.
UDP left the first female mayor elected in the Gambia and then
UDP, the man the yep de gala ko gis nation. UDP mo njaka elect again in the city of Banjul mu nek mayor Mustam Gambia fi.
Ngo UDP ole female youth wing soto parti na ma soto parti odol be kantele de kake.
Desan UDP ño am female youth wing lolu nga xamne Mustam ci rewmi ben parti musko am fi ci rewmi.
He added his party has a strategic committee where important issues will be tabled, and when sworn in January 2022, he will implement those needs of the citizens.
Mbanyimbanko kanne mandraman sakunda kuna bani mbanyimbanko kanne.
Mune nekun ci government wañu ci réew mi fi de.
So nga kusutele banko la haloto.
Demane xamé nañ gis nañ lepp lo xamné réew mi nu mo doxé.
Wala yatinna
lolu mo tax
nga strategic and policy committee nga londi
mu tawal strategic and policy committee
kol me yalon ka fokle bakala banko la sula quality ya study ya jube ya present on report on ya present ya put implementation 2022 in January when I'm sworn in as the president, the fourth president of the Gambia. Immediately we go to action. Listen.
Ala Yusenu niyo se wote ben kontan ling desan betnen Ala Yusenu mune dafa taal benn committee bu ñoo strategy committee boo xam ne moo ko seetal yëpp yoo xam ne ñooy jafe-jafe yi nga xam ne bu jëlee office 2022 mu daal di liggéey boo xam ne moo leen a soxlaal mu fas seeni soxla. And
I promise you, all of you here will be at that inauguration in January of 2022. My inauguration as president of the Gambia. I promise you that.
Wallahi.
In another development, Dabo promised to improve the standard of education.
But so Gambia marla kuto lafta ko le tandi alla wala na ngi kuto ligé.
Mune nakala ñoy yore Gambia bu bes bi loolu la leen nekkal di leen won motax ñu def yu bes yi le.
Gambia me yalon ka fako dindinglu isiji karamulto etatala lorin silol kan boso be bosol batuna ni be jela karamuto automatically be duna boso konle to go back to their home.
Desan dindingolu ala yusenu la ilaha illallah desan ako mune so gisee mu def lu bees yi le yéen xale yi pour ngeen bañ a taw si yoon bi wàcca school jàkkaar lool di dox doo leen am moto ngeen wàcca doo leen am liggéey nothing doo leen ko am loolu la bëgg a génne si réew mi yéen ndaw yi.
UDP ya realize ka fa ko nyim banko a funding kewlu wala siata janto dia funding ko kumanza kunabe ko kukela o funding ko la future wala mkuti mayana ko ko nyata to nyanta ka to
ali la moy man sabe di amula la ilaha illallah mu ne soo gisee ñuy def lii xam na ne yéen a fi gën a bëri yéen ndaw yi UDP lépp lu ñoo def pour lu leen a jëriñ ëllëg moo tax ñuy def yu mel nii
ata kala mansa kunda ye dalilati imang funding ko la ko topoto fo e batundo ni la hajol wudita watumo you start running helter skelter ka ko ad hoc measures nyol keke that will not be a UDP government's approach to handling the affairs of this country
atu leen waay
na ka jubelen schools nyol melbe in the Gambia particularly the senior secondary schools and what's the population in those secondary schools ngajube in 2022 how many of those kids will go out of school? We have studied that. Ngala figures law, ngalo, what should be done for those people?
The money to make any 2022 senior school C, junior school C, nyata wacha, nyata aga grade 9, grade 12, seni mebet ak lepp lo xamne mo la wara defaral inshallah lolu jangat ne ko be pare ñu ko tek ci kanamam mu ko tie
UDP latini na kavoko it is proper planning. Pour karambunto dinglu ya tube belian kafke from primary 1 ya figure out how many of those will go to primary 6 your stage pass to go to grade 9 and then from the one fana ham jolle boto yo haima meltanta pass la from there to grade 10 up to grade 12 and of those ones from grade 12 how many of them will go into universities? These are things that we look at. Ngaya Kabako, there has to be planned for those things.
The man na fali ne Londo le kabanko do ku bari Gambia alal harjele aka même fali lim la diwa mune primary 1 ba primary 6 ba grade 9 ba grade 12 ba university level figo out dem ko yeb lepp lo xamne mom ngay wara mebet seeni soxla ak li nga wara jankantel ragle na yeb mu ko tiss lo xam di len xaar 2021 li ngeen wara def ngeen def
ñin tunkul fenfen
dama ne juntuwa yeb
melbe bola grade 6 ita proceed no la kata grade 9
ñi joge grade 6 di proceed dem grade 9
grade melbe ita progress no kata grade 7
di dem grade 7
ñandale kol fay bang ite topoto la bang wala ñanta kala bang we say no
ndax ñooñu dañ leen wara sani du leen topoto mu ne no
mel yalam ka ko ni data for grade 9 ita proceed no la to grade 11 to grade 10 rather wol ñanta fay la le bang ndel ko no
dama ne ñu joge grade 9 10 11 suñ munte dem ci kanam dañ leen wara sani mu ne no
therefore ndel ko throughout this country major training skills training centers let's build right across the spectrum of this country so that what dindinglu it says major karanoje to if famanyo le karambunjo menke not redundant grade 6 later it will not go in vain. That is what we want to do for the Gambia youth. That's what we want to do for the Gambia youth.
Allah you say no nem dabo mine dinañ def ay skill centers yo xamne drop out lañ grade 6 grade 9 grade 10 or whatsoever fofu ngeen na nek ci lolu seen kilifa yi janga meke ngeen seen bopa ngeen seen yaay ngeen rewmi
ngani long kavoko quite a number of kids katale GTTI eka training kijeto some in the building construction some as mechanics and various fields kage GTTI le
mune xamna ne amna ñoo xamne dañ dem GTTI dina building construction mechanic ak yu mel nonu dañ ko lay janga GTTI
tel yajale kavoko if the government of the Gambia contract soto may yalon kavoko is construction of schools and so forth 25% of those contracts must go to the Gambian youth so that they can develop ila enterprises. It must go to them.
Al Gambian ko moy al moy mi al kanu mune su fekkee ne ñu janga GTT agreement nonu wacce nañ 25% of government contracts balan ko jox ci biti di len dundal ñoo nga ko wara jox ñu liggéey ngir seeni rew ngir seeni bop ngir seeni ay njobo.
The Senate bearer of UDP also has plans to give farmers in the Gambia a better living condition.
And ngar promise ni nako ninsita the Agricultural Development Bank will come back to the Gambia kaseno la alma koy.
Senelalu moy bekati amon na fi mu ne bu toge fi ala yu seenu Agricultural Development Bank dina am ci rew mi pour ñew dimbalé bekati.
Wala mbe nga ñi lona ka ko tubabu du.
Dama ne ñep xam na ne bitim rew.
Ila Senelalu
seeni béykat yi
ite lob je fanka malti
waaw waaw ñooy borom alal yi
nga sen kel sana kilimbe dadu wa mu tiasene la baleti
am na kenn koo xam ne béykat bu mal nga si gerte
president Jimmy Carter la badak la president America
mooy président Jimmy Carter America
mune yati nantel la senalalu
dama ne lu tax ñu suñ béykat yi
wolte kedo fanka malti janto
mu ñoo noo ka millionnaire ci biir Gambie bi
isi keno fanka malti janto le
mu noon nañ koo def
natra ka fo ko nga right position pour place amanda wadam manade bari nga bara fanan
su fekkee ne def nañ ay police yu correct si suñu liggéey te ñu dog ci yooyu ñu dog ci yooyu noonu
banko membo ko Israel alla kutakela desert leti
réew mu mel ni Israël par exemple désert la woon sa
bari ite ñimira fuiri fen sene fen abijeto
dama ne loo xalaat mu ngi Israël ñu ko liggéey jamono ji
ñimba kendo bentel bulu
ma ne ñu am géej bu neex bi
jiobe mbulu banko ko do
am nañ ndox si biir suuf
and we are not making use of it mantara use kan
nekkuñ di ko jëfandikoo
mantram fam balan balila abe kuntan la
ñu ñëw di def yëf yoo xam ne amul njëriñ lañ
nangu ñoo aaye suñu boppa yu amul njëriñ
ñu ñoo aaye suñ boppa yu am
nangu ñoo aaye suñu boppa
nangu ñoo aaye suñ boppa
yu ñàkk fayda yi
yu ñàkk fayda yi
pour ñu cee def xaalis
ñu ci def xaalis
loo xam ne moo am fayda pour réew mi
ñuy def ci loo xam ne
loo xam ne moo war a réew yóbbu réew mi ci kanam
boo xam ne moo war a réew
duñ ci dee def suñu xaalis
ci dee def suñu xaalis
suñ fi see projects agricultural projects balaa ñoo xalaat li ñoo pharmacie li ñoo ban bénéfice lañ cee am ñuy xalaat di jënd ay auto yu expensive di xalaat di dem ay travel di def all those things loolu nag dafay yóbbu réew mi ci kanam waaye UDP nag ñun doomi baadoole la ñu ñun doomi béykat la ñu xam nañ mbéy mi naka la mun moo tee xam nañ baadoole naka lay mbéy ñun dañoo ñëw gis ne baadoole yi béykat yi ñu am njëriñ ñu am bénéfice ci loolu ci seen mbéy mi géej bi fi nekk nañ ko utilize dinañ def irrigation in this country commencé woon nañ ko ci time yi suñ bàyyi ji Alaaji Saadaw Jawara ci Yundum
Reporting for the Fatini Walk News Review, I am Mate Senghor.
Buy Parfum, the first perfume bar in Gambia. Buy Parfum, it's another way to perfume yourself in a luxurious and attractive shop called Buy Parfum. Come and find rare and natural churai flowers and also the fragrances of the biggest popular brands: Oud Private Collection, Air Freshener, Flora, Venus, Fresh 24, and many other products. With Buy Parfum, discover the Parfum Bar, a new concept in the world. Personalize your scents with the Parfum Bar. With the Parfum Bar, choose the perfume that looks like you. Buy Parfum 54 Kayoraba Avenue opposite to American Embassy. You can join us on 77000225 or 529-1888. Buy Parfum Gambia. You will really love it.
Welcome back. Meanwhile, opposition MP Honorable Omar Sise ruffled some feathers at President Barrow's nationwide tour, and Tourism Minister Ahmad Ba was right there to respond. More in this report. War of words ensued at President Barrow's nationwide tour as GDC MP and Tourism Minister fired shots at each other after the Ferry MP highlighted the lack of development in his constituency. Honorable Omar Sise said he has raised the issue of lack of proper drinking water, lack of electricity, proper roads, among others, before Parliament, and finds it necessary to repeat the things he has been crying for before the head of state himself.
seen carte ngeen jël jox ma ko dooleel ma ko ma toogalee si néegi député yi yónni wu leen ma foofu ma toog foofu noonu rek waaye da ngeen ma yónni ma jàmbatal leen joytul leen waxal leen li nga xam ne moo nekk seen problème yi kon suuso waxal waa Jammeh is na leen man seen député bi Omar Cissé taxaw naa si néegi député yi wax ne waa Jammeh is amul ndax taxaw naa si néegi député yi wax ne waa Ñaamena East amuñ koreel taxaw naa si néegi député yi wax ne waa Ñaamena East amuñ yoon taxaw naa si néegi député yi wax ne waa Ñaamena East amuñ jardin taxaw naa si néegi député yi wax ne waa Ñaamena East amuñ développement kon foog naa ne lii ngeen ma sant ma waxal leen ko si néegi député yi te foog naa ne loolu moo nekk suma liggéey man Omar Ceesay maa ngi koy def kon su fekkee tey ndaje lu mel nii am na si biir Ñaamena East ngeen ooluma ma ñëw répondre seen problème kon foog naa ne loolu dinaa ko wax si kanam président ak kanam ministre yi ba ma ko doon wax si léegi député yi su président bi teewut vice président bi teew na su fekkee vice président bi teewut ministre yi teew neen kon am naa yaakaar ne problème yi Ñaamena East nguur gi nga xam ne ñu moo fi nekk ak nguur yu passé xam neen ko kon Mr. President
ako Your Excellency
kon maa ngi lay xamal ne
de kala mu tan la ko
waa Ñaamena East
goal
ñu ngi joytu waa Ñaamena East
goal
ñu ngi am ndaxar waa Ñaamena East amuñ développement soo jógee ko Sunju Alaaji nga ñëw Fade Sam nga dem Makka Ñaamena nga dem Njaakunda nga dugg Mbayeen nga dem Jaafay nga dem Kaolack yoon amul maa ngi la wax ne yow Mr. President maa ngi lay wax ne su nawet jotee si diggante Sunju Alaaji jëm Fade Sam jëm Makka Ñaamena jëm Njaakunda kenn du dem kenn du ñëw moto du dem moto du ñëw sere du dem sere du ñëw rajo du dem rajo du ñëw saako du dem saako du ñëw tànka du dem tànka du ñëw lii mooy li nga xam ne moo nekk problème yi yooni si biir Ñaamena East kon Mr. President maa ngi laa xamal ne si biir Ñaamena East fii ndox amul fii soo demee si dëkk yu bari fii tey maa ngi lay wax ne benn tey amul ndox mu ñuy naan kon Mr. President maa ngi lay xamal ne si biir Ñaamena East fii Sunju Alaaji fu ñuy waxee kuréel amul fii nga dem Sunju Alaaji kuréel amul fa nga dem Makka Ñaamena kuréel amul fa nga dem Njaakunda kuréel amul fa nga dem Mbayeen kuréel amul fa nga dem dëkk yu bari si biir Ñaamena fii mu dala kuréel amul kon lu waa Ñaamena East di joytu mooy lii Mr. President maa ngi lay xamal ne ñun waa Ñaamena East fii bay leen xam kon baykat yi ñu ngi oote ñu dooleel leen si wàllu mbay mi li nga xam ne su fekkee soxla nañ ko si mbay su ngeen ñu ko defalee kon ñu ngi wax ne waa Ñaamena East dootuñ jënd saako maalo ñu ngi wax ne waa Ñaamena East dootuñ jënd dew ñu ngi wax ne waa Ñaamena East
The words of the MP did not sit well with Tourism Minister Ahmad Bah, as he took to the podium and wasted no time in branding the GDC as a party of opportunists.
When the GDC, because di tax mu am
dalilo mi yatina GDC wuluta
Mama Kandeh mo fom parti buga parti
Mama Kandeh wole parti yo londi
waaye màggaayam
bare alak yiriwa
waxoon naa leen ne màggaay purit lay doon purit
nga foye men ko safuna kankan la ngulolem
purit lu mu rëy rëy rëy
safuna kankan mo wulita ñawoña
bu ngelaw fuufee rek mu seey
ni foño feta doron akatulenne
wallahi dinaa leen ne
ministre ko ngani fale ko
opportunist political opportunist
momin be political
opportunist
ole fote momin be political bundani minola
du passé Mama Kandeh ak GDC
ate tambinola Mama Kandeh ni GDC la
li xew mooy
min ko ñaati wala mo
2015
ako 2015
bi ñoo négocier coalition pour ànda
momin na mbeka cala pour ka coalition o deda pour na kafu
ñun ñepp ñu d'accord bu kenn beteeku
be kamben mo kana lo ifaye
nit ñi ku suur nañ am na ñu bari ñu suur nguuri APRC
wo waato la moo jama fata APRC man sa kundala
waa NRP gisuñ Amat Bah Diop te oolu wuñ yeneen parti bi taxaw
MRP ngolo ma Amat Bah Diop kaatu parti yo dool minu loota man la walla
oolu wuñ woon Adama Barrow ndek UDP oolu wuñ ko woon
iman hani wala kala Adama Barrow la kaatu ani UDP la
APRC yi génn oolu wuñ Adama ndek nete bi UDP
APRC ngol minu findita man la Adama Barrow la kaatu abe UDP la
Mama Kandeh génn ñu fa cabax
Mama Kandeh tata faye wole mama noma
ñu foog ne ndax
ya ñimnira ko
daraja la
ala daraja o ka
foog ne
daraja
ndax
ya mira ko
lim leen dig dina ko mën a def
aye lahidi minna ba keno
dig
la
leen aduna bi yëpp
aye lahidi dunia fengo bela
yàlla nag di dox
ala dum kala kolu tamandi
na adina di dox
dunia be tamakan
be Adama Barrow
fo adama baro
yàlla fal ko président
Allahu taala ya tambindi kake president
mu tàggoog UDP
ani UDP fatata
jàppalante Amat Bah
ani Amat Bah ñomuta
ak ñeneen
ani mo kote
mu samp parteem
ala patiolo
ñëpp gis yaakaar
mo be jikoje
bu wér yaakaar bu wér
dalil koyolu ani
dégg bu wér
toña fere toña sobe o
ci jëfi Adama Barrow
president baro la tamandi ñato
jël ay réew mi ñu doon pacaree
yen na fulo mi ka tiñanu
def yëpp ci benn compte benn compte
ka wo be da suki ka ke konti ba kilumu to
jël xaalis boobu digga dibale bee réew mi doomi aadama yi jënoog moom
banko mo la ñetti tanko ni la nafol a murundi mol kan ke la ñanto ni la
ña demoon yëpp del si
minu tata mi be murta
président Barrow
president baro
mbooloo mii nga gis
yegin ka fo minje
sa jëf ju baax
ila bara ñima
sa bugga réew mi
ila banku kano
pare liggéey
i pare ta do fo
comme Gambia
i sobe yalla
nekk njiit bu jub
i keta ñaato ka
bugga defar réew mi
ila ta banko yirwandil
moo indi nit ñi kenn campagne yi.
The tourism minister also countered the GDC lawmaker by telling the people of Nyamina East that Honorable Ceesay blocked efforts to bring development to them.
ma ne
ko
waxoon naa leen ne
nañu faale ne ko
ganaar buy topp kuy rooti ci tem bi
ye si sewoje jibi la noma
gisul kuy bojj dugub
woto ako turla le finitama
bu gisee kuy bojj dugub
ako nay turlaje
wallaay du topp kuy rooti ci tem bi
ate jibi la noma
te waa Ñaamina
ato ñamina ngolu
tey loolu wér na
bi o dalilo seniata
seen député bi wax na fi tey
na député kumata jang
wax ji mu wax
ay kumo min fo
dinaa ko fàttali la waxoon te léegi député yi maa nga toogoon
mba hakkilo bulandi la min fo no député mu don be sire
man duma wax de waaye ku ma xoos la ku ma ngoppati ma ngoppati la
kadi yamude bar nien codin se codin nien ngorote nien ngorote
te léegi député yi
ako député bugoto
bañ indee supplementary appropriation 2020
kabri man sakunda laftanna fulo do kanida pour que la kolu tamande o 2020 sango kono
pour defaral leen ay yoon
pour ye silo do ko altol molye
jël ay réew mi Adama Barrow mu ne nañ ko génnee ci fere jël xaalis réew mi yëpp dugal ko ci yooni réew mi
Adama Barrow président Barrow ko yew ko do be bajo ñokan ya naati pour molya do ko keje
moom wootewu ko
ate mi Allah ñi député
wootewu ko
ate député ni mu dumata aye
moom wootewu ko de
banne amang ta
wootewu ko
afele si jamaako
maa ngi toog
abe si
ba 1 AM maa ngi fa toog
ko talan kilin suba
bu doon moom rek duñ fi defar benn yoon
ako na tudan wala ñi député da madam
na ñëw soo déglu ma bu baax wootewul supplement appropriation bi moo debate I was sitting there right there nga dem right to the records of the National Assembly his position on the supplementary appropriation bill 2020
ako ñinan sango kabirbe o ko kacala be sini député bungola alla ñi député den diata aye ba wulen kala man tonu
su ko député yi toppoon
ako ni député ko don yaate no
kon yoon yi ngeen di dégg du am
wota ka ñi silo be mo ba ko ka
Mr MP yaa ngi maa déglu bu baax
honorable MP ba moy ka
recently
ako amam me baake
nga ne yooni Barrow bi
ko ñim Barrow silo
luwa ko def d'accord na ak yow
ko luwale ya do ko ñim tamo to sonta wala
waaye bi ñoo woote xaalis
bari kabrina fulo min président o ñam
pour dépasse mun a def yoon bi
pour kan dépasse o ke ka ñim tamo ke
si ñu bañ ne nañ ko wàññi
ate kafuta député ko mi ye ba wulen ke ko ya tala
ñu wàññi ko
ya tala
Mr Député si nga bokk
ako Mr député kafuta wulen ko
si nga bokk
e bi kafuta wulen ko
bon
woto
bon Mr Député
woto iden député o
bu la sax nit ñi sooboon ni nga ko waxee fii
dara mu ngi la mool la kano bete no
ña nga dem toogal te ne ñoom ñoo la wooteel dëgg la ñoo la wooteel
woto to ñaala yi ñanta normal on min koy ba kele ñanta kele
waaye bul fàtte nag ñeent fukki carte nga gagné woon de
bari
foti votes
nde hakkilo fulani la carte kete tan naani yeddandi lo keno walla tan naani
te li fi raali tey
aɗum minu ɓe sawdanam ɗi
40 votes nga gagné woon
ala lon ko tan naani ay
I had a
kañe
candidate here
ata ay lonni
we
moso
contested this seat
allota jannum ka
you won by 40 votes
ako carte kese tan naani
there were over 5 parties that contested here
aɗum pati lulu mi wo
40 votes was your majority to go to that assembly
ala darajo mo tan naani ay dandi
the people we saw here today
yeni mo ɓe min je jambi
they are more than 10,000
isiyata mo wuli tantele
Mr MP
woto député o
you must have been speaking at your funeral today
woto bi ɓe ɗiyamo kamɓe la kabur kumone to mbabbi
because the game is over for you
woto kumoñin abante kunne
I have said Let me repeat again. Come and join the NPP if you want to survive in your political career. If you don't do so, the Nyamina people have gone, have given you their back, and you will never see them again.
Sergeant Brito reporting. War of
Do you want to win millions of dollars this December? All you have to do is dial *777# for free or call or SMS 1010 at $3 is only to participate in the new AfriHali show and be part of the 7 daily winners.
Every Tuesday, Wednesday and Fridays live on GRTS, Afri Radio and social media platforms. Be part of our lucky winners.
Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
Welcome back to the show, and now I am joined by our special guest on News Review today, Coach Pa Samba Jaw. Coach, welcome to the show. Hello, Coach, can you hear us? Hello?
Yes, Sadia. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm sure you have watched the video. It almost feels like watching a comedy show or something. But first off, what was your reaction when you saw the MP pouring his heart out? Because a lot of times politicians will just stand in situations like this and sugarcoat everything and just keep it moving. What's your reaction?
Well, I was really happy and surprised. Surprised in that this would be the first time ever in our history where a sitting opposition MP, I've never seen it, was allowed to speak at the meet the people's store or meet the farmer's store. And that was the surprise, that they allowed him to speak. And happy that Mr. Cisse was so eloquently effective in making a case for his constituents. So that was my first reaction, definitely.
Think our politicians in the Gambia can take away from this? Because like I said, in most cases and during situations like this, people just stand there and try to say things that will be pleasing to probably the head of state. They will just stand there and sugarcoat instead of putting it to him what their constituents are facing. What do you think our politicians can take away from this?
Well, I think, like you said, it is the duty of politicians, especially those that are in governments in waiting, because every opposition party is supposed to be a government in waiting, is to be able to speak truth, and that is truth to power, and even give credit where credit is due. And I think this should be a trend. One thing that must not be lost in all this, Section 221, subsection 15 of our Constitution, is the provision that mandates the president to tour the country twice a year. And the objective of the tour is to be a listening tour, to listen to the concerns of the people and take them in. Unfortunately, like his predecessors, Adama Barrow has transformed this tour into a political tour where he is selling his political agenda. In essence, in violation of the Constitution of the Gambia. One would expect that at least when you do this tour, you should allow the members, the representatives of those constituencies to be able to also speak. So I hope this spirit will continue, but this culture of politicizing the Meet the People's tour in direct violation of the Constitution should be a thing to be done away with.
He said, whatever he meant. What do you make of his statement?
First, I was not surprised by Ahmad, because this is classic Ahmad. And I think Ahmad has now turned himself into, if you want to call it, the Gavel of Adama Barrow, just like what Yankuba Toure was for Yaya Jammeh. There were things that Ahmad said that were both unlawful and untrue. First, the tour is not meant to disparage other citizens. It is not meant to try to curry favors from voters so that they would support your political party. It is not meant to try to lure your opponents to join your political party. This tour was financed or is financed by the taxpayers, the Gambian taxpayers. And these taxpayers include APRC, DOI, GDC, UDP, NPP, you name it, to the tune of $6 million. And does not include all the wastage that comes with it. Now you can see that our government is on a standstill. You go to offices, you don't find anybody there, everybody is on the tour. That is one thing. Secondly, when Ahmad said that Mr. Sise, Honorable Sise, voted against development of land in those areas, that was a lie. That did not happen. So if Ahmad had said that, pretty much what he said was the development of GDC, the Pudarla, if you want to call it that, Bangelogi Fufe Botasaro, one can also argue his response was like Mumbuyan. Bangelo got Fufe Sila now because of it could not stick because it was not based on facts and truths. And secondly, the GDC is a bona fide political party. Don't go there and call them opportunist. And it is very sad and very opportunistic of Ahmad to in fact cherry pick and accuse the GDC of being, what did he call them, political opportunists, because Mama Kande refused to join the coalition. And this got me thinking. In 2016, when we were fighting for a coalition, one of the most prominent members of the GDC in the diaspora then was Mr. Sehumbalo. And there are records, you can go to Freedom and listen to them, where he advocated against the GDC joining the coalition. Today, that Sehumbalo is the deputy youth advisor of the president. Who is the opportunist? Sidi Njai, at this time, 4 years ago, this very time, Yaya Jammeh had delivered a speech yesterday, 4 years ago yesterday, when those Nigerian lawyers came. Sidi Njai was by his side. And their utterances were, Jammeh was not going to go anywhere, Barrow was never going to be sworn in because the elections were stolen, leading to many Gambians packing their things for the first time in our history, running across the border, and a lot of people lost their lives. Who is the opportunist? Today, Sidi Njai, we've seen him with a big waramba addressing those things. So you see, when you speak, be guided by the language of facts. Trying to just sully the name of a person and using all this nonsense talking about the guy won by 43 votes. Let's look at those numbers. I know you didn't ask, but I just want to take that opportunity to address it. Here were the numbers. Honorable Sise of GDC won. His total number of votes was 1,803 votes. The next one was the candidate for UDP. His total votes was 1,760 votes. The third was who? The candidate of DOI. He had 1,339, something like that. The fourth was the candidate of APRC. He had 545 votes. The fifth was who? The candidate of GMC, 533. Guess who was the last? Ahmad Ba's own candidate, Mr. Gay. He had 222 votes. So don't go there flouting numbers as if you did very well, because the reason why I'm mentioning Ahmad Ba's candidate, because Ahmad Ba had said, I had a candidate here. Your candidate took last kaka. He was defeated by Mr. Sise by about 1,571 votes or so. So to me, this is all a joke, and we need to be able to move away from this nonsense of just disparaging people because they happen to speak truth to power.
Some of the things that Ahmad Ba said are in fact unlawful, and fellow human rights activist Madi Jobate is also saying the same thing. He's actually calling for the Inspector General of Police to arrest Ahmad Ba, which I don't think is possible. He's saying that he should be arrested for false publication and broadcasting by distorting the proceedings of the National Assembly. Is that a reach, or is that something that you are in for too?
Well, I'm not going to call for his arrest, but what Madi is saying is true. Let's look at the law. The law says that if you publish anything that is false, you are guilty of a crime. Did they expunge that law? They did not. It is still in the books. And this is a law that this government always tout that it is there. What did they do to Mahdi? Didn't they arrest Mahdi? They said that he made false publication or whatever. The only person, and you know what, Ahmad must also know, he knows this. Honorable Sise is a lot more powerful than Ahmad Ba as a cabinet minister, because the National Assembly member has more powers than the minister. Because Honorable Sise tomorrow can summon Ahmad Ba to come and answer to him at the National Assembly. Ahmad Ba does not have those powers to do that. So it is what Ahmad did was unlawful. And why is it unlawful? Because first, what he said was false. Second, you cannot use the Meet the Farmer store to promote a political agenda that is in contravention of Section 221, subsection 15 of the Gambian Constitution. And third, if you are calling for the politics of respect, we must also be able to respect divergent views. There was nothing that Omar Sise said there that was not factual or that was disrespectful. But try to bring him down, talking about, you know what, you are speaking at your funeral. If you don't join the NPP, your political career is this thing. That is nonsense.
Made by Ahmad Ba was an attempt actually to try to create a mistrust between the MP and his people. Would you agree that this might cause some problems for his political ambition in the future?
Well, Ahmad Ba must know this. I remember when independent newspaper was attacked. And Ahmad Ba, when they got the information, Ahmad Ba stood in the National Assembly and spoke truth to power on that issue. He could not have been arrested because according to our laws, you cannot arrest or charge anybody with a crime, a National Assembly member, based on what they say on the House floor. He was able to do that. What did Yahya Jammeh do? We saw Yahya Jammeh came and said that there are two MPs who have big mouths. They are Halifa Sallah and Ahmad Ba. And it is his goal that they will never go back to the National Assembly. Ahmad was not happy about that. So Ahmad must not be consumed by the trappings of power to start forgetting the struggle that he waged. And to the people of Nyamine East, you'll be foolish to dump Honorable Sise, who I have followed keenly. I don't support GDC. And he is nothing but a pride to the nation and the democracy that we are trying to build. I think he is a very effective representative of his people, and the people of Nyamina should return him to the National Assembly.
Say himself.
I want to say to Mr. Sise, keep your head high. Do not be intimidated. Do not be discouraged. Do not despair. You serve as an inspiration to a lot of Gambians. And you know what? Politics in our region is nasty, but it should not be. What you've proven is that you are an intelligent young man, a patriotic Gambian, a person who knows what to say and when to say them, and most importantly, to do it in the most dignified and respectful manner. So, Mr. Sise, Honorable Sise, I know you're a young man, but as somebody who had followed politics for a very long time, from the First Republic to now, I am inspired. And keep on keeping on. Do not be discouraged by Ahmad Ba or anybody else who is driven by what they are getting from power and not speaking truth to power or leading in the interest of the people.
Well, thank you very much there to our guest, Coach Pa Samba Jaw. Coach, thank you very much for coming through to the Fatu Network News Review.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, that will be it for News Review this evening. Do join us tomorrow if you can. Thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.